So welcome everybody back to another episode of Spotlight 39. We got a real special guest, former D1 college athlete, Mr. Ernest Edwards. He went to the University of Maine. I won't tell too much of his story. Without further
Mhm.
ado, I'll hand the floor to him. Let him introduce himself and share his story.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. Like I said earlier, man, it means a lot. Just being in this position right here. But yeah, my name's Ernest Edwards. I'm from Rochester, New York, a small city upstate. Um, yeah, man, like you said, I went to the University of Maine. Um, actually, Darius Minor. I didn't spend um a lot of time with him because he was only there for a couple weeks. But
Sure, sure.
I just want to start off with just talking about him and just what it meant to me. Uh,
Sure.
now, I mean, I'm the type of player that if you win the team, I gotta know you. I gotta interact with you some kind of way. No matter if you're going, no matter I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I'm that type of player that I want everybody involved. So I remember when Darius first came up, we was doing competition drills or whatever it was. I forget what we was doing exactly, but now I seen that he was a quiet guy. He looked like a track star. He always had his tight pants on, running around the track. Um, Even before practice, it was kind of weird, but yeah, man, I remember we were doing some type of drill, man. I was just talking trash to him the whole time, because he was a quiet guy, and I wanted him to talk. I wanted him to express his emotions or
Get
whatever
him
it
up out
was.
that shell, right?
Yeah, he was a quiet guy, so I was just trying to talk trash to him, trying to get in his head so he could talk back to me. But some way, somehow, it never happened. He never, he never reacted to what I was saying. And I just felt like that right there just tells me that, you know what I mean, he was the guy that he ain't let nothing get to him for real. He knew what he wanted, and he just put his head down, and then he was doing something for his family, which is going D1, trying to make to the next level. Um, it just sad, man, to see how it ended. But that was my guy, man. Even though I ain't known him for a long time, that was still my guy, and I know he know that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, most
yeah,
definitely.
RP
You know,
Darius.
you rep, you
But
know,
yeah,
you rep D minor pretty hard throughout the year,
yeah.
man. Much appreciated. And
Had to, man. I had to get the customized cleats. That was the first thing on my mind, man. I had to rep them in some way, somehow in the field.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So speaking of cleats, man, if you ever start to clean out the closet, man, I got a home on the wall.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
got
be
you.
opposed.
I was thinking about that, my cleats and my gloves. I got a lot of gloves. It's crazy. Some gloves I never even touched before. So I could definitely hit you up if you want something.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got you,
yeah.
man.
Hey, look, man, I'll never tell you no. I always
Yeah.
got room, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, man. So no, I appreciate that. That definitely speaks volume on who he was. And like you said, he's a very quiet guy. It took a lot to get inside the head, but man, he
Exactly.
was a machine on
Exactly,
the
man.
field.
Exactly.
I mean, that
It
boy
just
was quick as lightning. He hit harder than guys probably three times his size.
Yeah, and it hurt my soul. It hurt my soul knowing that I couldn't experience it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It hurt, but hey, man.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll get into your story, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about high school, right? So what high school did you come up out of? Big program, small program. Walk me through a little bit of what recruiting looked like. Just talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I came out of Aquinas High School. I mean Aquinas Institute. At the time, we was pretty well known in New York State. Always in the top five in New York State football
Okay.
wise. Um, but yeah, so our school really had most of the hype because we had a lot of D1 players. Uh, uh, Jake Zimbe, he was my quarterback. He ended up going to Penn State, and we had one of my best friends to this day, my boy Jameer Jones. He actually just graduated from Notre Dame. Got
Okay.
to try out for the Texans, but we both got cut recently, so that's who I've been working out with. But Aquinas always had the hype, so it's crazy recruitment wise because I had zero offers going into my senior year. I lied. I had one offer going to my senior year. It was from University of Buffalo, but I tried to commit before my senior year, and they
Right,
took
right.
my offer away. They took my
Really?
offer away on the phone while I called them.
So what
So
happened? Talk to me about that. How'd that happen? Was it
literally,
grades
all
or
that, no, my grades is always good. It was just they said they wanted a JUCO player. They was looking at some JUCO player, and then they told me if he wasn't, they said if he don't commit, then we want to hit me back up. I said, no, I'm okay. I'm just gonna move on. And I
okay?
didn't want to be part of that organization no more. So really, that's why I say I had zero offers going into my senior year,
Sure.
and then I just went crazy my senior year. Literally right after my state championship game, I was on the bus and my phone was blowing up. I really had 4 or 5 coaches calling me, and
Wow.
I believe I had got 3 offers before I got the chance to take my uniform off.
Really?
A couple college coaches was there.
What
Um,
programs were they, if you don't mind sharing?
I know it was. I can't remember. Wagner. I remember Wagner was one of them. I want to say Rhode Island. I can't think of the third one. Delaware or somewhere. I can't think of the third one.
Okay.
But yeah. And throughout my whole years of high school, Aquinas, my school was hated here in Rochester because they say we win at everything, which is kind of true. But it was just that it was something about me that um, they used to say that we had it the easy way or whatever it was because we recruited, but we never recruited. So
You just had a lot of talent, within the school.
yeah, exactly. And we go since 7th grade though. That's crazy. But
Yeah, you can't
we
change where
good
people
since
live, right?
exactly, exactly.
They assign the
And
school districts.
yeah. So I ended up carrying that over to my college decision, whereas I ended up with 10 offers. 3 of them was from single A schools, and then the rest
Okay.
was FCS. Um, but I told myself that uh, obviously my dream was to go to a big college,
Sure, sure.
um, like Alabama, LSU, like everybody dreaming their little kid. But I wanted a challenge because everybody I feel like I was hated in high school. Everybody was saying I had the easy way. So I went to the University of Maine, you know what I mean, where not a lot of people know where it was, not a lot of people make it out. And I really wanted to take that challenge. I wanted to be one of the first people to make it to the NFL and really have a career in the NFL. So I ended
Sure.
up going to the University of Maine. Um,
So
and yeah,
before you chose Maine, right? You said
yeah,
you had like 10 offers or so. And when you ultimately chose Maine, before that,
yeah.
did you know that Maine had a program?
I actually did not. I actually did not. It took me until the coaches had to come to the school. I'm like, Maine, I didn't even know where Maine was, to be honest.
Right,
But
right.
they came to the school, and then they came to the school a couple times, and a couple weeks later, during basketball season, it was like 6 coaches that came to my basketball game. So I mean, that's when I knew they was really falling in love with me.
Yeah, so they came
That's where
hard
I started.
even after football. They
Hmm.
said, "Hell, if this man's gonna be on the court, we're gonna go see him there too."
Exactly. That's where I started.
Okay.
Ended up with like 22 points that game. That was fair.
All right.
But
You had a hell of a senior year. That's when all the looks and such came. Did you take many visits to different programs? Any official, any unofficial? Talk to
I
me a little
took
bit about what
two.
that looked
I
like.
think I took 2 unofficial visits. One was to Buffalo.
Okay.
Um, Actually, I took one. I only took 2 visits, Buffalo and Maine. But
Okay.
Syracuse, Syracuse wasn't a visit, but I did go to Syracuse um, for a camp, and
Okay.
they was recruiting me for a while until my senior year. They told me I was too small. Um, but yeah, I tried to commit to 3 schools before Maine. I forgot to tell you that. I tried to
Okay.
commit to 3 schools before Maine. It was UB, UMass, and then Old Dominion. Literally, Old Dominion and UB said the same thing. They took my scholarship away over the
Really?
phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
ODU
then
is right down the road from me, man.
I know, man. I wanted to be there so bad, right on the beach. I wanted it so bad. Nice weather, but and then
Everything happens for a reason, though, right?
I know, I know. So I'm not even disappointed.
Yeah. So the transition from high school to college, how did that work out for you? Did you come straight out the gate? Did you have to earn your spot? What did that look like?
You definitely gotta earn your spot, but the way main coaches is, they love their incoming freshmen. They love them. They give them. I feel like that's really the one school who actually give freshmen more chances than they needed.
Okay.
Um, and I appreciate them because, um, like I said, I mean they trusted me from the jump. During camp when I first went there, I started making a couple plays and scrimmages. I was just playing my butt off. I was blocking. I was doing all the little things, lining up in the right places, and that's what you want. And your coaches you want to trust, and I felt like they trusted me. And ever since my freshman year, I got the chance to step onto the field as a true freshman. So I think the coaches for giving me opportunity for real.
No,
But
that's big. So how was the transition?
yeah, that's what I
As
say.
physically wise, like, obviously, because that was one of the last conversations I had with Darius. Was how hard he was working, and how much bigger he felt he was already getting in just those short weeks that he was
Yeah,
already there. He said, "Man, these workouts are killer." He
yeah,
was talking about how so much different it was than hitting the weight room in high school. So how was
yeah.
that? How was that transition for you?
It's definitely different. In high school, I really didn't touch a weight. I didn't touch weight. All I did was go out there and practice in game days and just run. But I didn't touch a weight. But
Just
I'll probably say
outrun
that's the
everybody, right?
yeah. I'll say that's the most challenging part is transitioning to the weight room aspect. Not being used to doing um, just not even being used to touching the weight. Honestly,
Sure.
that's, but on the field, man, it's football, man. I feel like if you understand the game of football, you claim that you're really good at football, then and you have no fear. That's one part. That's the fear and inconsistency. That's what not makes a football player great. I
I
feel
got
like
you.
yeah, but yeah, that's probably just the weight room. And it's Maine. You got to be a different breed to stay in Maine because it's always it's cold. It's cold 12. It's cold 10 out of the 12 months of the year.
Yeah, it is.
And,
I left
yeah,
when I
and I
came up to
try.
the football banquet, man. We left here
Oh
in
yeah.
Virginia. It was mid 70s, man. I left here in shorts and flip flops. I
Oh
get up
nah.
there, I was watching a little bit of the baseball game. It started snowing. I was like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
I only
and
drove
it
13 hours. Like, it ain't that serious, is it?
yeah, and
It
it
was a
get
whole new
it get
world, man.
it get into the negatives, like
Yo,
real,
yo,
not
sure.
the feel, not the feel likes, but it really get into the negatives. But yes, and what I about to say? Oh yeah, weather, man. You gotta be a different breed of saying Maine. Not everybody make it out of Maine. That's I seen so many people come in my freshman year and by my sophomore junior year, each year it's like 10 to 12 guys who leave. They just
Really?
couldn't take it. Yeah, they just couldn't take it. It wasn't mentally tough. That's what I say. You gotta be mentally tough to stay
Oh
in
yeah,
Maine.
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I tease Darius all the time, man. Once he started talking about Maine, and when Maine came on his radar, I was like, man, you better learn how to ice fish or something, and go moose
For
hunting.
real.
Like, I don't know what you're gonna do up there, man.
For
So,
real.
I had to Google, see where the university was. I didn't know if it was D1,
yeah.
D3. I didn't know the first thing about University of Maine, the football program, any of that. And
Yeah.
then when he came home and he said it felt like home, and that's where he was committed. And I was like,
Exactly what
man,
I
are you
said.
sure, man? Like, that's a hike, that's up the road.
Yeah.
And that's where he felt most comfortable. Which it's crazy because leading up to his official visit, that University of Maine clearly was not where he was intended to go, or where he was intending to
Exactly.
go. And then once he got up there, he seen the fellas, he got to meet the team, he got to see what that brotherhood looked like and felt like. And he said it just felt like home, man. It's a small area, much like we live in right now. And everything just felt right. And I was like, look, ultimately it's your 4 years of college, it's your
Mm-hmm.
4 years of life, man. So it's got to be where you're going to be most comfortable. And if that's where you're comfortable, if that feels like home, I wish you nothing but the best, and I'm gonna become a UMaine fan. I got to figure out where I can buy some UMaine gear. So,
Yeah.
so I'm on the internet. I'm on Lids. I didn't even know Lids carried any gear. So I scooped the hat, right, and
Yeah.
it worked out. And they've been a first class organization since day one. But so when you got to college, right, you said
Mm-hmm.
that you had to earn your spot. At what point, freshman, junior, I mean, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, like at what point did you really start to stand out as a leader on the team and really show out? Because obviously, I came through, during the 2018 season, which I think that was your junior year. And I got to watch you show out and just put up some silly plays. And a lot of those I got to witness firsthand, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was up in Maine or on the road. So I got to see the talent firsthand. But let's when did that start for you? When did you become that leader on the field on the team?
Um, I 2018 season is when it all
Okay,
started for me. That's when I started starting. Um, that's when I started playing more than 12 plays a game.
okay,
My first year I played like 5 plays a game. Second year, my sophomore year, I started playing like 10 to 15. But every time I got in, it was a play for me. So defense started to pick it up a little bit at the end of the season. But yeah, it was my junior year. That's when I mean my position group. I always had like 2, 3 year old guys older than me.
sure, sure.
So we had an experienced group of guys. So I just had to wait my turn. Then my junior year, it was finally my turn. I remember sitting down with all the coaches, them telling me that it's my year, that they looking for me to step up a whole nother notch, a whole nother level. And I feel like that's what I did. And,
No, most definitely.
yeah. And then my senior year came around. Um, Same thing. I even had to take it up a whole nother notch
Whole
for my
nother
junior
level.
year. But yeah, man, I couldn't do it without the guys. I mean, who I was surrounded with. Like Darius said, the brotherhood. I feel like that was the most important part of me going to Maine. Um, Literally, when I first visited Maine, it felt like I was talking to my guys from back home, and that's what I wanted. That's where I wanted to go because I just felt comfortable. And like he said, man, I felt at home. I mean, um, with the snow, with the small city, with the brotherhood, with the people around you, man. It sounds just like Rochester. I ain't trying to be crazy enough, but it sounds just like Rochester. Um, and that's what I wanted, man. I just wanted to feel comfortable, wanted to feel at home, and Maine was definitely the spot for me.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So once you got through your junior year, you started getting, the starting gig, right? 2018 was a hell of a year, special season for many reasons, right? One of
Mm-hmm.
the, if not the best, season in program history. There was a lot of heart, being put into every play. But at what point throughout your senior year did you recognize that, you could potentially be, taking your talent to the next level? When did that start happening?
It was actually before my senior year.
Okay.
Um, I always felt like I had the talent. I was watching. I remember my junior season, just watching games, and like I was making plays. I was making plays. Yeah, that's what the people seen. But if you was really in the film and watching, I had a lot of misplays. I had a lot of plays I wish I could get back. Um, and then that's I was just inconsistent. And then my senior year, I told myself, man, I gotta be more consistent. I was really just messing up on the easy plays, but all the hard plays, I make them. So man, I'm like, man, I gotta be more consistent. How am I gonna make the hard plays and not make the easy plays?
Right,
Uh,
right.
and that was the story of my junior year. I would make the hard plays, not the easy plays. In my senior year, and I told myself I gotta make all the plays. I don't care. I don't care if it's hard or easy. Um, that's when it changed for me. That's when I really realized. I mean, I was always getting open. I was always getting open. I was always fast. I always had moves. I know what to do when I had the ball in my hands. It was just literally the easy plays, and that was just messing me all up in the head. And my senior year, man, I told myself none of that's gonna happen again. So
Yeah. So did you did you get any calls from agents or anything like that? Or walk me through once the season ended,
yeah.
how did you transition to getting a phone call from the LA Rams and getting invited out to camp. Obviously, we got to watch you on Hard Knocks. We got to watch you, catch your first touchdown right on TV.
Yeah.
That was pretty special. I said, I know that guy, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this last year been crazy, man. I feel like Well, all right, let me start off. After my senior year, um, like 2 weeks went by where I just rested. I didn't do nothing, and then my phone started ringing, and I had like you said, I had agents calling me, telling me they want to meet me in person, the normal recruiting stuff.
Sure.
So I had to knock them down. I had about 10 agents call me saying
Okay.
they wanted me as a client. I had to knock it down to three, and then obviously not down to one, which is DEC management. My boy Josh Stevens and David Cantor. But yeah, man, after the season it was crazy because I went back to. I was still in school because I still had a whole semester to do because I never redshirted.
Okay.
So in January, before I could go train, I had to go back to school to tell my teachers, "Hey, listen, I honestly I needed a favor, which was um me to take online classes. This was before Corona.
Oh
Me to
yeah.
take online classes for like 9 to 10 weeks while I go down south and train." And they was with it. They literally helped me out. They did everything in their power to help me out so I could make it to the NFL. Yeah, I went down to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, to train at Bomberitos, which is like literally one of the best training facilities in the country.
That's
Um,
awesome.
everybody, everybody go. I was training with everybody: Frank Gore, Terry McLaren, LaShawn McCoy. Everybody. I was training with everybody. But
That's huge. Nice piece of networking as well.
I know. Just being around them guys, it made me. I don't know. It made that dog come out of me. Honestly, I ended up gaining 25 pounds. I'm 190 now. I went down there.
Okay.
I was like 167 when I went down there. So yeah. But what I was about to say? Oh yeah. Then um, 10 weeks went by of me training. And I was getting ready for my pro day. It was probably like 2 weeks until my pro day. Not even. Come to find out, this one beginning of March when Corona hit.
Oh yeah.
Corona had hit. I didn't have no pro day no more. I didn't know what I was gonna do because I mean, I'm from Maine. Nobody know Maine.
Right. Right.
Nobody want to be associated with Maine. So, yeah, I honestly thought my career was gonna be over with, and then until my one of my one of my good friends from Rochester, he went to Maine. He played center at Maine, and he was with the Philadelphia Eagles for a while. Bruce Johnson. He
Yeah.
ended
Yeah.
up he ended up setting up a little pro day, mini pro day for me and my
Yeah. I
guys back
saw.
in
Yeah. I saw that
Rochester.
online, man.
Yeah,
That was huge.
yeah, they
That
had
way you
probably
guys
like
could still show out. You had some.
exactly.
You had a little bit of media coverage there. I think you streamed it online, right?
Yeah, it was like 15,000 views. I know a couple NFL scouts was tuned in watching. So I mean, that meant a lot right there. I feel like
Oh
that's
yeah.
what really, yeah, that's what really you know what I
Kind of
mean, that's what
elevated
really,
it to the next
yeah,
spot.
exactly, yeah. Because without no film, without no time, they wanted to see my 40-yard dash. They wanted to see how fast I could really run.
Oh yeah.
Um, Without that, I feel like I wanted to have made it to Rams training camp.
So
But
you got the phone call, right? From the LA Rams. You
yeah,
got invited out to camp, right? So you flew out to LA, and what was training camp like? What is it like that, obviously we don't see, during the broadcast of the show.
mm,
What's the real grind like, for somebody coming in as an undrafted free agent? Because at the end of the
yeah,
day, some of those guys probably had no idea, who you were. Hell, they probably had no
mm.
idea where the University of
Nobody
Maine
did.
was, right?
Nobody did.
Yeah.
Nobody did. And it was crazy because I even played against a couple players that was already on the Rams. They still didn't know who I was. That's how crazy unknown Maine was. I'm gonna say that
Oh
for like
wow.
2 years. But it was cool for just being around a group of guys like Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. I mean, one of the top players in the NFL industry right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just being around them guys, man, it's just cool. But knowing you're an undrafted free agent, they probably care less about you. I mean, as all they know, you just a scout dummy. But so I had to work my butt off. I feel like I still didn't do much though, because obviously I'm at home right now and I'm not in LA still. But it was a cool experience. Um, I just wish I could just do a
A little
couple
differently.
things over. Yeah, I feel like it helped my chances a little more, but everything happened for a reason. Like I said, I ain't gonna question God
No,
at
for
all.
sure.
I
everything
feel
happens
like
for a reason. Your time will come. Hopefully it's fulfilling your dream at the next level. But if not, obviously there's great success stories on people that transition, to the workforce, right? And either become an entrepreneur and open their own
mhm,
businesses, or transition. I mean, our boy Jeff. I mean, he's out in Nebraska right
exactly,
now. I
exactly,
mean, that's huge. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly,
obviously he was a hell of a player on the field, but the NFL wasn't necessarily his career path. And what he's doing now, I think is just absolutely amazing. With the role that they put him in, I think it's perfectly fitting for him. Um, he just got some love on online. I seen, for
exactly.
his first video, which is just it was huge, man. So there's always a path. You just got to
Right.
figure out which path that is, right? And once you
Exactly.
figure it out, you take it, you go with it. That's life. Um, but I'm not going to take up a whole lot more of your time. I'll just, if you don't mind, just I'll have you share some words of wisdom, some advice, to the young ones that's coming up out of maybe not a big program like you came out of, with high school, because a lot of kids reaching out, they're from small little schools in Florida or Mississippi or Louisiana. I mean, I've been talking to kids, which is it's pretty special, but I've been talking to kids from all kinds of towns and all kinds of states that I've never even heard of, right? And
Mhm.
they too have a dream and a passion. And what would some advice be, or some words of wisdom that you could lend those guys going forward?
I would just say, I mean, just put your head down and keep on one foot in front of the other. Um, like I said earlier, um, it don't matter how you get somewhere. I'm not even gonna say that right now. Just literally embrace the grind. That's why I say when I was in high school, I really wasn't embracing the grind, and I feel like that's why um, I ended up at Maine where I ended up. But man, just take first and foremost, take school seriously because without school, I mean, you won't have none of this opportunity right now. And then stay in the weight room, stay in the weight room. That's the most important part, I would say, coming out of high school, getting big, having that size, going into college, because people already had that size. So stay in the weight room, embrace the grind, let it grind. Um, and if it's too easy, then you're not working hard enough.
No, for
Like
sure.
how my mom always tell me, um, if you got if if you gotta, I don't remember how she said it. I'll try to hold on one second. If you gotta, I don't remember. Just if it's easy, you don't want it. That's all
Right, right,
basically she
right.
was trying to say. If it's easy, you don't want it, and that's how
If
I
it's an
see it
easy
every day.
path, choose the hard path, because
Yeah,
that's where you're going to be most successful, right?
exactly, exactly. And that's how I live my life every day. With that quote in the back of my mind, from my mom. If it's easy, I ain't gonna do it because I'm challenging myself every day, and that's how you're gonna get better. That's how you're gonna grow as a person.
No, most definitely, most definitely. Well, brother, I appreciate your time. Obviously, I wish you nothing but the best. Hopefully, you get a phone call here soon, man. I'm trying to watch you on Sundays, man. I'm looking
Hopefully,
forward to
man.
it, and
Thank
we'll
you.
be in touch. And I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Talk to you later.